Hey guys, Dr. Watt from Pinecrest Chiropractic. Let's talk about how we treat plantar fasciitis in office. Now, plantar fasciitis really sucks, right? It's oftentimes described as pain in the bottom of the foot and pulls all the way down. And we'll talk through this in some of our other videos, the specifics of how and why it works and why it's happening. But we want to look at treating two primary things. One is going to be the calf and the Achilles. So these muscles back here turn into your Achilles, wrap across the bottom of the heel, and then go down and turn to the plantar fascia. So that's number one that we want to treat. Number two is going to be the plantar fascia itself. This is extremely inflamed, very tender. Oftentimes just a small poke on the bottom of the foot hurts. And so we want to treat that appropriately, right? So the first thing that we're going to do in office is going to be laser therapy. We've used this for a lot of other modalities, but this is one of the best things to do for plantar fasciitis. This laser uses photobiomodulation. That's the fancy words for it. And it's going to use infrared light. Then we're going to start it up here and show you exactly what it looks like. And this is the whole process. There's going to be infrared light, red light coming out of this wand here. And that light is going to penetrate 2 to 3 inches deep within the tissue, depending on the settings we set it at. So for him, this is really going to be focusing on 1, the soleus and the gastroc, 2, the Achilles, and then 3 as we come down the bottom of the foot and the plantar fascia itself. Part of the reason it's really hard to treat plantar fasciitis is the fascia has terrible blood supply. It's awful, right? And blood supply is how our body heals. And so what this laser is going to do is it's going to supercharge that healing process. It's going to drive in more oxygenation, more circulation, and more blood flow into those tissues specifically to get them to feel and function better. So number one is going to be laser. This is going to help dull the edge off. The next thing that we're going to do is going to be some shockwave. The shockwave machine, the handle looks just like this. And so we would put some gel, once again, on his calf and on the bottom of his foot. And we'd use this. It sounds almost like a jackhammer. So I don't have it on now because it'd be loud for the video. We've used it in other videos though. And so it sounds kind of like a jackhammer. And this little metal tip right here, there's going to be a piston in here that's going to be shoved back and forth to create a shock wave. I use the analogy a lot like a movie, like a bomb going off in a movie. And a bomb goes off and it blows out all the windows around it and knocks the good guys over. And that pressure wave is going to break that sound stuff down. Same thing here. As we use that shockwave machine, it's going to create pressure waves down into the tissues to start to break them down and start to break the scar tissue, the tension, the knots in there. Now this one shouldn't be more than a 2 or 3 out of 10 on pain, but can be more uncomfortable than the laser. So we usually start with the laser, let it tamper down just a little bit, use the shockwave to blast it away. The third thing that we're going to do that's going to be a game changer is going to be start to adjust these joints. Now our foot has a ton of bones and joints in it, and each one should move. We often forget that though. And one of the easiest ways we can feel that is just by trying to take your calcaneus or your heel and squeeze it back and forth and then adjust it. And so we have a couple of different ways to adjust them. I'll show them really quickly. One is going to be the gentlest form is going to be our activator. It's a spring-loaded device that we can use then on these different bones or joints to adjust. Gavin, go ahead and roll on over for me. The second thing that we're going to use is what's called a speeder board. And this uses momentum or force to get it to move well. So it pops up and then it's going to slam down. And so we can adjust this a bunch of different ways. But one of the ways is we're going to cup the heel and use that table. Minimal force does Gavin feel, but it gets the joint to move again. And the third thing that we can do is just a manual hands-on adjustment or something like a pull. All 3 of those can be used to get the joint moving again and restore the motion back through the joint again to get it to heal and function like it's supposed to. So if you or someone you know is struggling with plantar fasciitis, you don't have to. We can come on in, we can chat about these things and figure out how we can get you feeling the way you should again.